What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. I bet you thought Market Watch today would start with the obvious, oh my gosh, Battle of Chaos has DDD and Blue Eyes going to the moon. Instead, we're starting with another being from outer space. Nibiru is going back into orbit. We see the secret rare here, $23. The market price can't even keep up with it, and 9 listings because, ew, gold rares. But people are settling for those gold rares to almost $20, and I would suggest getting the ultimate rare sooner than later. It's actually cheaper in price available now than its market price, and the sales rates is going pretty darn crazy over the last week for this. So using that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. If you have been waiting on this to fall out in price, it's likely going to start ticking up as the other copies become unreasonable for what they are. And I don't see where the reprint on the horizon would be. Gold rare again the next year, maybe gold letter rare if Konami's Mad Lads. Brothers of Legend possibly goes from the trash to who knows. We'll have to wait and see. Also talking about Megatins, we see that King Long super rare is going up because the Megatins only put it as a rare, and people are looking to fully hollow out their virtual world decks. So King Long here from the OTS packs going up very low quantity. Speaking of OTS packs, 17 came out early in multiple places. I'm seeing these a lot more on Facebook than eBay. Utopia listed at $120 and an actual sale but best offer accepted on a Blackluster Soldier ulti, and these do look very clean from the Facebook post, although I still don't like the US ulti method of, yeah, no foiling on the picture, just make it pop into the background. I'm starting to get sick of that versus the ultis over from the OCG, but who am I to complain about that? I just go and buy my ultis and I go on my way. That being said, I would wait for the ulti market to actually settle. I think these prices are ridiculous. I see it stacking as Imperm will definitely be the top as people chase after 3-ofs. You have BLS stuck maybe behind the Ghost Rare, although the ulti does look decent. And then Utopia probably following up the rear, but over time as the highest rarity version of the number, which is actually maybe the Astral version, we'll have to see how that price history ends up going. Now, speaking of Battle of Chaos, I do want to emphasize one more time because Sealed is going fast lately. If you're interested in Sealed, over at Big 3 Deals, code What's Good 5 for 5% off will work and support the channel directly, getting it down to about $55.40 a box when buying a case. They also have individual boxes up, but that will be a bit more. I don't see many other pre-sellers with this up right now, and the MSRP also is starting to trek up on products, yet their case prices are very good. And DDD seems pretty darn competitive, and the new cards seem to do a lot. I look forward to the actual labbing, but this doesn't determine the rarities that things will come out in the TCG, so we will have to see on that. I did see Robbie Cole mention he bought 500 freaking DDD Divine Zero Kings, and they are up in price throughout the day. We also see OTS pack copies of Swirl Slime and Ragnarok going up, people wanting to fully hollow out their deck. And then I didn't know, like at this point, Lamia and Copernicus don't have reprints, people going crazy over these, and you go through the entire front page, every DD and DDD card is above $1 market price on the front page and going lower and lower in quantities. We've seen ridiculous Starfoil buyouts happen, and when they happen, the sales rate usually goes really bad. So if you're trying to buy those and going, oh, free money, well, maybe, but you better put it at a price where it actually sells later. Also, Servant Thomas doing pretty well for himself despite his 2 different printings, and a lot of the extra deck doing different things. I'd also look through the gates if I were you, but pointing to the one on a further page, DDD Abyss King Gilgamesh from Link Brains pack, I'm pretty sure that's where it originally came out, is locked behind that $30 MSRP of Dual Overload. Dual Overload has shown a lot of superstar links go up over time. I've seen DDD do work over on Dueling Book before without these updates. It still kind of gets sneezed on by a hand trapped or stopped in its tracks sometimes, but this fixes a lot of problems for DDDs, and I look forward to it maybe having more than just 1 week in the metagame from here on out. Blue Eyes is actually the flashpoint where the collector's market took place in Yu-Gi-Oh! Before, it was like Retro Pack, DR4, and hollowing out your deck. At the point where Blue Eyes was spiking, on buy list, Super Reaper was like $18 and selling for $30 super slow, and it spiked. First edition LOB Blue Eyes from $60 towards I believe I want to say 160 to maybe even 200, and then DDS Blue Eyes went from like 120 towards 300. That was record prices for them during that format, and now we see ridiculous errors, but people aren't going after Blue Eyes White Dragon itself right now. I've gone through a lot of the top versions. There aren't suddenly sales on a ton, and I think there's so many people diamond handsing Blue Eyes as the Charizard of Yu-Gi-Oh! I would take a little bit of time deciding the versions you want if you are interested in picking up that deck and have been waiting, but it's done nothing but cool off since Stemmy checks. I could see people start to go in on OG versions of Blue Eyes again, though. Only versus the Stemmy checks are DDS, First Edition, and Unlim LOB, and then also I believe DTP1 up in price. Even the Ghost Rare from Gold Series has started to fall out a little bit, and we see a ton more just start to slowly go down from those hype points of the Stemmy check buyouts. Now, I am looking through other support. There are 2 secret rare versions of Sage with Eyes of Blue, but both are up a little bit / lower on quantities than there were. Remember, there are legendary Duel Season 2 copies of a lot of these cards I'm showing where they'll have the purple, green, blue rare for just a bit cheaper for now, but these are cards to kind of consider with Blue Eyes. You do look through Legendary Duel Season 2. Abyss was already 27 before this, which is kind of crazy, but they had Kaiba on the reveal. I guess people could have guessed at it as well that there would be support for Kaiba alongside Yugi in this DM era theme set. Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon is going down for a lot of versions, and I do want to note that the Ghost Rare doesn't even have sales today. Like, let's actually refresh and make sure at this point it still doesn't. Yeah, nobody clamoring after it right now, but this is another card I could see going up from it, but it does show that even with the new support, most people who want it already have it, or most people who have bought in for the long term have it. So we're going to hit that point of people slow reacting because prices are high, and then when the set is almost here, probably scrambling for versions of things they want. Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon Original Secret Rare. This is a very nice version of this card, and you can see people are going after this today, but you have other versions available thanks to Legendary Duel Season 2, but it is going lower on copies. Melody of Awakening Dragon Secret Rare is very nice out of Kaiba Collection. We do have that more recent version of Unlimited Kaiba Collection, and then you have Super Rares, and the rest of them are, you have Common, Super, Ultra. They're kind of the same price, though, even towards the common out of White Abyss from the Duelist pack. It's interesting how this card goes. Dragon Shrine only has 1 secret, but I feel like most modern Blue Eyes have peeled back on this card just a bit, and the new cards feel like they might replace it. I would test to build before going after cards like this, but the nicest version in the room is the Secret Rare, and Return of the Dragon Lord still only has 3 printings. All of them are very expensive, including the Common, the Super, and the Secret out of Kaiba Collection is the nicest. I don't know if they'll be playing this either. I haven't tested Blue Eyes in a long time, so I wanted to go over things that I was looking at, and also remembering from old Blue Eyes, but Blue Eyes has changed a lot. Tons of people playing Hulk combos in their Blue Eyes. I remember I was playing a Hulk Blue Eyes on Dueling Book, and people in the stream will remember I ran into the mirror match somehow, and the guy said I had destroyed the meaning of Blue Eyes by summoning Halka 5-Rex, but I'm sure the competitive Blue Eyes community feels different, right? Right? It's like the players that argue the most among themselves, so do test Blue Eyes builds and come to your own conclusions. And then finally, the Ultimate Creature of Destruction did get a reprint, but notably with the new fusion card and the protection that this offers, it's not a bad card to be thinking about, although I still think you would want to focus on advantage, rank 8ing, fusions, doing crazy things with Blue Eyes. What invocation is going around here? I also remember Blue Eyes Invoked being a deck people tried out. Super Invoked goes even higher for invocation, and I can't blame you, it's a short print out of the set, but the Secret Rare from Battles is still a better version, so this is a little head-scratching why people specifically went for this over this, and we see other versions continuing to climb even harder versus yesterday. Usually when there's a buyout, it just stops, but people just keep scrambling after normal summon Alistair. Yep, it's not a rival here on Market Watch like the Dragon Maids, but this is what incarnation or what invocation is going on around these here parts. And Macabre, the super rares are starting to go pretty far, and the secret rares have gone to some extent. Remember, European copies will taco bend really bad, and US copies can still taco bend on this foiling, because it's during that time, like Duelist Saga, and then you have, I believe it was Wraith, right until Maximum Crisis fixes the foiling issue for a bit, where people were getting DQ'd from events a lot, and with Extract being a card Monsters in the extra deck matter a lot more on their condition. Make sure your copies are not discernible in your extra deck when buying them. And then finally, Ghost Mourner Secret Rare. I would never bet against Ghost Girls in their highest rarity. It might have an altar art coming in Gold Series, but people are going after the Secret Rare right now. I believe it's actually an out to token collector, if I recall, against Sword Soul as a little hot tech, and it has a huge high sales rate over here on the Ultra, actually under 100 listers at this point, as people continue to go for her and just secure the copy. I still think it'll be there in gold if you're just looking for a copy, but if you were thinking about the nicest version, right now, it's going besides, of course, the Starlight Rare. And the Starlight Rare also throughout this month has had a couple sales, nothing too crazy eye-popping, but the original First Ed Secret is also pretty good. Sometimes I have to catch myself. I'm like, oh yeah, the Starlight, it's right there on the screen. That being said, thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. And what do you think about everything going on with new support, Megaton, Fallout, and how it's affected the rest of the market as people scramble for other pieces they may be playing with Crossout Designator, or maybe grabbing 3 up to play with in the format anyways? Like, you're really gonna play that one of Nibiru? Are you gonna play around my Nibiru all the time? You're not gonna draw the Crossout Designator every time. It is very interesting, the dynamics that people are trying to create, where I feel like when I'm playing on Dueling Book, everyone just plays around the Nibiru that's in my hand every single freaking time. But Battle of Chaos, sealed, available if you are going for it, and if you are, I'd go sooner than later. It still feels a little bit like Dawn of Majesty's problem of where's the money, yet now with Blue Eyes and Dark Magician stuff, and potentially high-end versions of stuff for that, I'm starting to think, man, what could the Starlight be in here as well? And how crazy, like the import Starlight, and then the rarity spread, it could be a very good set. But I'd still tiptoe cautiously, but it's feeling like something people are gonna hype beast up a lot with the DM era theme. So do consider that sooner than later.